So here we have Supple Strength 203. This is one of my more stretchier routines. As you can see here, we start with a kneeling sun salutation, which I've sped up so that you can see the whole thing through. Then we work on some standing strength, which is also from yoga. And then the Pilates section in this program works all areas of the body with a little bit of focus on the arms, with some bicep curls, shoulder press, and a very interesting addition to the kneeling 100. So if you prefer to stretch a little more than working hard, then this is for you. There are some progressions, of course, and we will be using the ball and weights in this program. Of course, there's always a workaround if you need it. So carry on watching. I hope you'll enjoy it. I hope you are well today and you're feeling good. You've got your space, your equipment, your ball and weights if you want to use it. Let's start by switching the core muscles on. We'll do a couple of big deep breaths just to wake up through the lungs, wake up through the body and blow those cobwebs away. Remember not to let the knees knock together when you bend those knees. Sweep the arms up nice and big to open up through the chest. A little reminder now of those core principles: the lengthened back, the core muscles switched on. Remember to keep that rib cage connection down, the shoulders drawn back. Try and grow out of your crown if you can, lengthen through the spine as you stand and zip up with that pelvic floor. Heels under the hips. And we'll breathe into the chest. Remember, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep the core muscles connected. Feel the chest expand and deflate. Feel free to close your eyes if you want to. Just center yourself, bring your focus to within and calm the body down. Okay, a little balance to start with. Plug one foot into the floor, lengthen the legs, switch your core muscles on. Focus those eyes forwards. We're going to do tree. So take the other foot to the inside of the leg. Now the higher you take that foot, obviously the harder it is. So you choose a level that's appropriate for you. Keep your arms out to the side for some stability, or hands in prayer, or indeed lifting the arms up above the head will make it a little more challenging. Do keep the shoulders down, the eyes staring, the core muscles switched on, and breathe to help center and settle your balance. Super, let's go to the other side then. Plug the foot. Mentally lengthen the legs, switch your core muscles on, focus the eyes. Take the other foot to an appropriate position on the inside of that standing leg. Settle yourself. Breathe. Arms out to the side, of course, is your easiest. Hands in prayer, or lift those arms up to the sky. Remember to keep those shoulders away from the ears. Fix your gaze to help you settle. There, that should have calmed us and brought our focus to our body. Let's go to the back of the mat then. We're going to do a couple of roll downs to stretch and communicate with the spine. Core muscles switched on, heels under the hips. Breathe in at the top. As you exhale, chin to the chest. Collapse your arms and shoulders forwards. Keep the tummy scooped up. Feel that strength and length running through the spine. Of course, you can soften the knees if you need to, but try and allow the arms to hang upside down. Relax through your upper body whilst the back stretches. And then we'll restack. Keep the tummy muscles scooped up all the time. Rebuilding the spine from inside the body. Rebuild the rib cage so that the shoulders melt down and the head comes up last. Breathe in at the top. Let's do the same again. Chin to chest. Curl yourself forwards. In your mind's eye, see each vertebrae separating away, space and air in between each section of the spine, to stretch, to lengthen, to open and reawaken the back. Smoothly restack. Again, one vertebrae, one rib at a time, shoulders melt, head up last. Breathe in at the top, one more, this will bring us down to the floor. Remember to allow the arms to collapse forwards. Keep breathing. Relax from your shoulders down to your hips. Then that'll take us down to our knees. Now, sitting your bottom back onto your heels, or if you need to, you can stay lifted up. That's absolutely fine each time we come back to the beginning. We're going to go through 4 times, like your hands in prayer to start. Core muscles in. Breathe in, prepare. Breathe out, stretch tall. Stay here to breathe in. As you breathe out, take the hands a long way forwards, drop the chest to the floor, arch through your back. Breathe in, bring the hands back somewhat for a cat stretch, tuck the bottom under, chin under, and as you exhale, press back into downward facing dog. The legs might be a little tight, just soften the knees, backwards and forwards each side, just soften. Breathe in, melt the knees down for a cat stretch. Breathe out, take the hands further forwards, drop the chest for an extended child's pose. Breathe in to bring the hands back and lift up for the ceiling. And breathe out to release, sitting your bottom back down onto your heels if you wish. Hands back in prayer. Breathe in, prepare. Breathe out, stretch tall. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, hands go a long way forwards again for that extended child's pose. Drop the chest to the floor. Breathe in for cat stretch. Bring the hands back a fraction. Curl the toes under. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Tease through those hamstrings again. Walk the heels up and down if you wish. Then we'll breathe in once again for a cat stretch. Breathe out for extended child's pose. Hands go forwards, drop the chest. Breathe in, bring the arms back, lift up for the ceiling, and breathe out to settle back down again. That's twice through, we're halfway. 2 more times. Breathe in here, and breathe out to stretch tall. Breathe in here. Breathe out, stretch forwards. Extended child's pose. Drop the chest, arch the back. Next is cat stretch. Nice good breath in here as you lift the middle of the back up to the ceiling. As you exhale, press back downward facing dog. Press the chest towards the toes, remember, and broaden those shoulders. Breathe in for a cat stretch. The knees go back down to the floor. Arch the middle of the back upwards. Breathe out, hands forward, extended child's pose. Breathe in to draw the arms back and lift up for the ceiling. Breathe out, settle back down. 1 more time through. Breathe in, prepare. Breathe out, stretch tall. Lift those arms. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, extended child's pose. Hands go a long way forward. Drop the chest. Breathe in for a cat stretch. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Lengthen the torso. Stretch under the arms and breathe. Breathe in for cat stretch. Breathe out, extended child's pose. And breathe in to bring the hands all the way back. Lift up for the sky 1 last time. Breathe out to settle back down. Super. We're going to go into a crescent moon now, so you might need a cushion underneath the left knee to start with. And we'll bring the right foot forwards. Remember, each time you do the program, please change which leg you start with, left and right. So we're going to stretch through the hip flexor with that crescent moon. You can keep your hands on your thigh, or you can lift the fingers and eyes up for the skies. Make sure your pelvic floor is zipped up and core muscles are switched on. Releasing from here, we're going to curl the back toes under, come to standing. The right foot will be in front still. We're going into warrior 2. So the right knee is above the heel. Press on the outside of the foot to keep the knee in place. Keep the hips open, bottom clenched, arms stretched out, eyes staring past your right fingers. Keep breathing, stay strong. Next into sun warrior. So tip the right palm upwards and reach back, then press into that right knee a little more if you are able. From here we transition to triangle, so straighten both legs, turn your face to the side again. Right fingers reach over right toes. Tilt, take the hand to the thigh, is your easier level, or the shin, if you can bend down a little further. Back of the hand to the inside of the leg for the stronger ones. Press that top shoulder back, don't fall forwards. And you can drop the top arm behind your back if you need to. Good strong stretch here for the hips and the hamstrings to come out. We bend the right knee. We're simply going to go to the other side from here. So just pivot through the feet. Left toes pointing to the side, and then left fingers reach over left toes. Tilt. Take the hand to the thigh or the shin. You choose your level here. Make sure the top shoulder is pressed back, not falling forwards. The back of the hand can go to the inside of the shin for the harder level. Easier level, top arm drops behind your back. Eyes looking upwards if you can. If not, stare directly forwards. Keep breathing. From here we go to Sun Warrior. Drop the arm, bend the knee and reach the left arm up and back, softening the palm and elbow. Make sure you keep that left knee bent forwards. Little challenge here, knee pushing forwards, fingers reaching back. And then bring yourself into Warrior 2. Press on the outside of the left foot to keep the knee open and pointing to the side. Eyes stay to the side as well. Notice how the shoulders are above the hips. And then we're going to come back down to the floor. So just prepare, you might need to move that pillow. Pop the right knee down on the pillow. Sink the hips forwards. Open out through that right hip flexor. And then if you wish, fingers and eyes can lift up to the skies. Do make sure your pelvic floor is zipped up and the shoulders are dropped down. Remember to breathe. Final part of this section, we're going to push back into downward facing dog. Just one more. To stretch out through the legs, release through the shoulders and arms. Remember, straight back is far more important than straight legs. So do bend those knees if that enables you to get your chest a little closer to your toes. Little child's pose to rest out, and then we're going to take it down to the Pilates section, and I'll bring the camera angle a little closer. So here we are. You might need a pillow here. We're going to go onto our back for basic lift. This is where we test the core to make sure we can keep the back either in neutral or possibly in imprint for those who are a little stronger. So, right angle at the knees, heels in line with the hips. Pelvis is in neutral. Remember, some of you, when you go to the harder levels, you might tilt back into imprint. Just make sure you're conscious of what's happening with your back and your core muscles are switched on. Fingertips on top of those hip bones, tuck the chin under. Breathe in, prepare. As you breathe out, float one foot off the floor. Right angle at the knee still. Breathe in to put the foot back in the same position as it started. You'll simply go from one leg to the other, walking back and forth, making sure the pelvis doesn't move. Use your core muscles to secure the pelvis. If the pelvis does move, maybe keep the feet quite light on the floor so you can get a sense of that core connection a little bit better with the lighter feet. And then for those who have settled the pelvis, you can go into the two-leg version. Breathe out to float one leg, breathe in, prepare, breathe out, float the other. Remember, there mustn't be a jolt or a reaction when the second foot comes into the air. To take the legs down, you breathe in, taking one down, then the other. Then you're ready to breathe out to float the leg you've just lowered. Keep repeating that process over and over. One leg up, other leg up, one leg down, other leg down. Now, if you're quite confident with this move, as some of you will be, you can release the fingertips from the hips. You can relax the back of the hands into the floor, or you can cross the arms over the chest, which will make it a little bit more challenging for you. Also, you can lengthen the legs. A longer lever, as always, you will work harder. So take those feet forwards, feet will be higher in the air, feet always come back to that lengthened position on your mat further forwards. So keep breathing, keep everything in line, nice and strong through the core, back staying in place. For the most part, you should be in neutral, but if you are still learning and getting to grips with the two-leg version, remember you can imprint, you can melt your back closer to the floor. That will secure the core a little harder and stop your back from arching. So a little stretch after that one, and then you're going to grab your ball. If you don't have a ball, don't worry. You can just have a cushion underneath you, or you can have your hips on the floor if you wish. So, bottom leg straight, top leg in front also straight. Bottom arm goes to the top shoulder. Rest your shoulder on the floor. We're going to start with the easy version, hand on the floor in front of your chest. Core muscles are switched on. As you exhale, draw into the waist to float the shoulder from the floor. Now, of course, you can use that top arm to help you to lift if you wish. Alternatively, the hand goes to the thigh. You're reaching for your feet. Pinching into the waist to float the shoulder from the floor. Breathe out as you float, breathe in to melt down. Another level will be to take the fingers to the ears, elbow to the ceiling. This adds on a little more weight, makes it a little bit more challenging. Try not to let the hips roll back at all. Keep the hips pointing to the ceiling, and here's your next level up, fixing the arm to the ear, Nice straight arm. That will add on quite a challenge to the waist. So feel free to take on those challenges. Make sure you maintain your form though. Don't let your hips roll back and don't throw yourself up. Keep it smooth. There we go. Let's move on. Before we do the other side, we're going to do an opening tabletop. So knees under hips, hands under shoulders, back is lengthened, core muscles are drawn in. So that right arm is going to open out and then tuck in between the gap between arm and thigh. The other elbow is going to bend like a press up. So it's upper body strength here as well as core stability. I'm going to turn front on for you so you can see that bent arm position better. So open out to the side, bend the elbow, all of your weight pressing into that hand. The head and the arm reaching does not touch the floor. Hips stay still, torso twists, core muscles support. Breathe in to open up, breathe out to reach. Now here's an add-on for the stronger ones. Opposite leg. Stretch it out, squeeze your bottom, point the toes. Open and reach through. Much more challenging for your balance here. A little bit more weight going through that front arm as well as you bend and support. Mind you don't hit your nose on the floor. Stay strong. And breathe. Super. Stretch out through the wrists if you need to. We're going to go straight to the other side with this move. So, other arm opening out to the side, locked into the core as you reach through, bending the supporting arm in a press-up style. Torso doesn't bend or sag, stays nice and straight, core muscles switched on. Breathing into the chest, remember. Then there's the add-on. Lengthen the opposite leg, remember. Don't do the same side, you will fall over. It's got to be the opposite leg to the reaching arm. As you can see, it does challenge your balance just that little bit more when you're floating that leg. Stay in control. Keep breathing. Always slow it down if you do start to lose your form. Just take it slow, bring it back down. Stay in control. Super. Have a little rest. Come back to your heels. So let's do the other side with that side lift off the ball. Remember, you can use a cushion or you could keep your hips on the floor if you want to. The aim is simply to lift the shoulders slightly from the floor. So the bottom leg is straight and bent, top leg straight and in front, bottom arm, and the hand comes to the top shoulder, easier level, top hand in front. Breathe in, prepare, breathe out to float the shoulder. Utilising the waist muscles, possibly using that top hand, pressing into the floor if you need it. Now, a word of caution with this move. Avoid allowing your tummy to blow out forwards. You do need to draw inwards. Suck the tummy muscles in. Maintain that corset of strength around your middle. Don't forget the other add-ons if you wish to add them on. So fingers to the ear, elbow to the ceiling. Or you can lengthen that top arm. Bring the arm close to the ear, nice and straight through the arm. Adding on a lot more weight to the move with that extended limb. Keep breathing, hollow out the core muscles. Okay, well done. Let's pop the ball to the side and take a hold of your weights. We're going to do a version of the roller. We're going to add some bicep curls and some shoulder presses, not only to challenge the biceps and the shoulders, but also it will challenge your roll up. Let's start with that roll up here now. So sitting on your bottom, knees slightly bent, drop the arms and shoulders out to the side. Breathe in, prepare. As you breathe out, sink and hollow out. Tuck in the tummy muscles, scoop the belly button in, press the belly button back to the backbone. And then here's what we'll do with the weights if you want to. We're going to do 4 bicep curls on each side, still hollowing out and holding that roller, and then hands together, pressing the arms up to the ceiling 4 times. And then we'll come forward. So you can do that with or without your weights. So breathe in, prepare, breathe out, collapse into the tailbone, tuck your bottom under, hollow out the tummy. 8 individual or 4 on each side bicep curls, and then 4 shoulder presses upwards. Watch those heels don't start to float. It's quite a tricky one, this one. Hollow out the tummy muscles, pull into the core to sit you tall again. And then you're ready to go again. Keep breathing all the way through. Belly button scooped in, heels pressing into the floor, especially on those shoulder presses. Use your core to draw you forwards. Yeah, it's quite challenging, this one. Keep breathing. Remember to come up tall. Realign the spine in between each sit back. Four bicep curls, 4 shoulder press. And drawing yourself forwards. Super. One more time then. Sinking back, tucking under, keep breathing. 4 bicep curls on each side. 4 shoulder press up to the sky, staying strong. Hollowed out through your tummy. Draw on the core muscles to bring you forwards. Super. Pop the weights to the side. Okay, I've got a lovely variation for you of the kneeling 100 now. Use the core, but it also challenges the back of the shoulders a little. So, knees under the hips, squeeze your bottom, core muscles in, take a watch. We're going to press back for 5 as we would normally do, and then as we blow out, we sit the bottom back and press the arms back and up. Strong core connection here, but also working hard through the back of the shoulders. So we're sniffing and blowing as usual. So here we are then, let's get going. I'm going to fold the mat up here so it's a little kinder to my knees. You might want to do the same. Knees underneath the hips, squeeze your bottom, core muscles switched on, fingers reaching for the floor. Getting ready to sniff in after 3, 2, 1, and sniff 2, 3, 4, 5, blow, 2, 4, 5. Sniff 2, 3, 4, 5, blow, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep breathing. Sniffing and blowing, sitting your bottom back, locking into the core as you do so. Pressing the flat back of the hands up for the ceiling. Really working through the shoulder joints and the upper back area with this move. Sniffing and blowing. Sitting your bottom back, locking into the core to keep the back straight. Nearly there. And rest, bottom back on your heels. I do like that variation a lot. Okay, moving on. We're going to work the lower back now with the dart. The stronger ones, if you have one, you might want to bring a weight with you, just the one line. So lay yourself down on your front for me. Forehead to the floor, hands down by your hips, your palms facing up towards the ceiling. Remember, the legs stay long and relaxed, core muscles are switched on. Zip up the pelvic floor for me too. Breathe in, prepare, breathe out, reach the hands down the sides of the legs, square off through the shoulders, float the chest. Breathe in to release down to the floor, breathe out to reach again. So notice how your lower back tightens in, the belly button draws in as well. Trying to avoid blowing the tummy into the floor to create the lift. And of course the feet stay relaxed on the floor. Your next level, hold the hands behind your back. It just tweaks the shoulders just that little bit more as you reach down towards your feet, igniting that back extension. Adding on further still, you can take the one dumbbell in your hand and do the same move as this. Remember to keep the chin tucked under all the time, the back of the neck nice and long. Imagine you're shooting an arrow out of your crown each time you come up. Keep the feet down, keep the glutes relaxed, focus tightening around the waist and into the lower back. Breathing out to float up, breathing in to come down. Okay, little cat stretch to stretch out of that one. Tuck the bottom and chin under, press the hands down into the floor. We're staying on all fours now. We're going to go into what's called the bear. So this is like a plank, but not a plank. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders, curl the toes under, literally float the knees and breathe and stay there. Now you can stay there for as long as you can manage. If you need to come down, you simply melt the knees and then you re-engage and come back up again. Shoulders wide, back of the neck nice and long. There, I'm taking a break there. There's another add-on here if you want. If you want to make it a little harder, bring the hands just a fraction closer into your bear and then tap the thighs. Just adds a little bit of dynamics to the move, makes you work that little bit harder, but the bottom mustn't lift up, the back mustn't sag, back of the neck must stay nice and long, shoulders away from the ears. Keep breathing. And melt down. Push your bottom back to your heels. As you can see, I quite like that one. If you want, you can take the hands behind your back, lift them up, and that'll stretch through the shoulders for you. We're going to stay with stretching the shoulders. Take a hold of your cushion. We're going to go into chest opener. So we're on the wind down now. We've just got stretches left. So you're going to lay on one side. Head on a pillow, bottom arm stretched out in front of you, legs are curled in. Top arm is going to circle round, the hips must stay still. So going backwards first, take the hand behind your head, drop the shoulder and rib cage back, but do not allow the hips to follow. Circling back round to the front, we'll go 2 more times. So core muscles are locked on. Keeping the hips and the pelvis perfectly still, the upper body rotates. See how I'm looking back behind myself? It's allowing my chest and shoulders to drop back even further. 3 in one direction and 3 in the other. This is a really nice stretch and movement for the back here. We're going to go straight to the other side. You can turn your back to the camera if you wish. You don't have to top and tail like I've done. So bottom arm outstretched. Legs and knees are curled up. Core muscles switched on. Hip in place, remember. Top arm's going to do most of the work. Keep breathing all the way through. Open out through the chest as you circle the arm backwards and round. Allowing the rib cage to rotate forwards and back whilst the hips stay still. Do 3 circles backwards and 3 circles forwards. Allow this movement to stretch out and unwind through the waist, also releasing through the shoulder. So this should be your last one and we'll move on into the twists. So I'd like you to take both feet over to the left, foot to thigh. You're going to take your left arm across to right thigh, right hand goes behind. Breathe in to lift up tall and breathe out to twist around to the right. Keep twisting, lifting, lengthening, and if you wish, if you're able, that right hand behind you can grab a hold of the hip behind. Just to stretch through the arm a little more. Releasing there, you're going to take that right elbow to the floor, left foot in hand, heel to your bottom. Try not to sag into that shoulder. Press the shoulder and elbow down, lift up through the rib cage, and then press the knee back and the hips forwards to stretch through the front of the thigh. Before we do the other side, we're going to do a hamstring stretch. That's the stretch down the back of the legs. Just sit on your bottom with your legs out straight, tummy muscles in, chin to your chest, and gently walk your hands forwards, down as far as you can, down the shins, possibly reaching for the feet, but don't force this. Just take it as far as your body will allow so that you can feel an uncomfortable stretch down the back of the legs. Keep breathing. Every time you breathe out, imagine those muscles lengthening and releasing. Okay, now we're going to cross our legs. If you prefer, you can have one leg out straight. By crossing the legs, chin to chest, tuck the tummy in, we're just going to walk those hands forwards again, and this time we'll stretch out through the back of the hips. Keep breathing. Allow those hips to soften. Walking your hands back gently. We're going to swap the legs over, spring the other foot in front, or fold the other leg in, whichever's better for you. Same again, tummy in, chin to chest. Gently walk those hands forwards and allow your hips to open. This should feel similar to a pigeon on the outer hip. Remember to breathe. Breathing always helps your relaxation and it helps the stretches. Bringing the hands back then, we need to go to the other side for the quadricep stretch and twist. So twist first of all, both feet over to the right. You're going to take your right hand across to the left side, left hand behind. Breathe in to lift up tall, breathe out to twist. Always think of that corkscrew analogy, twisting and lifting at the same time. And of course, if you wish, that left hand can wrap further around your back and hook onto the hip on the other side. Feel the spine lengthen and unwind. Then, taking the left elbow to the floor, take a hold of the right foot. Remember not to collapse into the shoulder and rib cage. Press down with the shoulder and elbow, lift up through the rib cage. Keep your form, and then heel to your bottom. Press the knee back and the hips forwards. We're nearly there. Last stretch now. Save the best till last. We're going to stretch out through the neck. Press the heel of your left hand down into the floor and tip your head over to the right. The right hand can pull just gently, just to stretch the area between ear and shoulder. This area always gathers up a lot of tension. Let's gently go to the other side then. Help release that tension with this stretch. And then soften out. Give yourself a round of applause. I hope you feel refreshed and stretched out after that program, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.